Hey everybody, it is Glory, also known as Scleroderma Smarter. Just want to come on here and give an update. So it is February 13th, and it is 11 years since I had my diagnosis. And Scott always reminds me because I was actually in the hospital on Valentine's Day. I was working at a local mall, and I was manager of a candy store, and I started getting very fatigued. I couldn't carry things like a water bottle. I would like not feel it in my hand and it would just fall. I used to have to carry like 1 pound bags of candy and I couldn't carry them anymore. I would walk, we had to park in the parking structure and then walk over to the candy stand, and my legs started feeling very heavy, very fatigued. I had no energy. I was freezing all the time. I remember it was all bright and sunny, and I was bundled up from head to toe. And then one day I just couldn't take it anymore, and I checked myself into the hospital, and I had a wonderful doctor, Dr. Bettini, who diagnosed me with scleroderma. And I remember before I was diagnosed, I was looking at all these different illnesses that it could possibly be. And I never came up with scleroderma. I had never even heard of it before. So I remember Scott and I were sitting in my hospital bed, and Dr. Bettini comes in and says scleroderma. And that was the beginning of my journey. And I asked him, first thing I said was, I have kids. Is it hereditary? And I remember him telling me that I need to keep an eye on them with lupus because scleroderma parents sometimes have kids that get lupus. So then I asked how long. Mine was so advanced that he said 5 years is what they usually say. But the way mine had progressed so quickly that we gave myself a year. And of course, I was sad, but I was glad that I figured out what it was. I spent a couple days in the hospital, and my managers know, my owner know, and went home. And then I had to go back to work. And Scott and I talked about it, and we figured that I do need to quit my job. So I remember I wrote a letter and I explained my illness, and I faxed it first to my boss, and she called me immediately. And I guess apparently she had heard of it because the first thing she says is that is such a painful disease. And I said, oh, yeah. So I left work immediately. And I came home, and Scott was still working, and I would still get up at 6:30 in the morning and make him breakfast. I remember one time I was at the stove and I just fell. Like my legs just gave out on me and fell. And then I told him I can't do it anymore, and I crawled into bed, and I stood here for over a year, not being able to move, pretty much in one position. But here I am now, 11 years later, celebrating my pretty much today, because I think I went into the doctor's. I would think tomorrow was the actual day they diagnosed me, but I was already in the hospital today. So I just want to say happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Don't give up, my sclerodermians. Find yourself some good doctors, get on some good meds, listen to what they say. And it's kind of not funny, but I have been dealing the past couple days. My thighs are like huge, and I'm in a lot of pain. Mostly my left leg, and it's because when I got diagnosed and everything, it was my right leg. Everything was wrong with my right leg, And now I'm feeling it on my left leg. My thighs feel so heavy. Um, like I'm laying here in bed and it feels like I have like 10-pound bag of kitty litter sitting on my thighs right now. I was over there doing my nails because I have an event next week and I'll tell you about it. So I had to get my nails done. Kind of crooked here, but that's because the hands look like witch hands. And I got up and my thighs are just killing me. I'm in pain. They hurt. They're heavy. They're just heavy. They just feel like I've been walking up and down stairs all day, all night, just nonstop, laying here. It feels like I have pressure and pain. And that's kind of how it started. I remember when I was working at the mall, I had to go from the stand to my car, and I couldn't move. And I was going so slow, and I was crying, and people are like, "Are you okay?" I remember that, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
I remember you getting home and you couldn't get up the stairs.
Remember that one time I got home, and because we live upstairs, and I couldn't walk up the stairs, and I was screaming and I was crying, and all the neighbors came out. I remember there's this nice gentleman that's 3 doors down. He came out and I was crying and I'm like, I'm sick, something's wrong. And he helped me up the stairs. And then after I quit my job and I crawled into bed, like I didn't see anybody. Like I didn't see any neighbors for years. And then he would see me outside with my wheelchair and he would help Scott, because they used to have to pull me up in my wheelchair. And then he'd see me, walking with the walker, and then he'd see me with the cane. And now he sees me like a couple months ago, he actually saw me going up the stairs. He says, "You need help?" I said, "No, I got it." And yeah, I do it 1 foot at a time. But he's like, "Oh, look at you." He got so excited to see me walking up the stairs. I mean, he was truly like happy, and it felt so good because they've all seen me. They all saw me before I got sick, and then they saw me while I was at my worst, and now they're seeing me where I'm at. I'm at a good place, except the pain in my thighs and some other stuff. But anyways, 11 years anniversary. Don't give up. Get some good medications, find some good doctors, get yourself a good support system. If there are people in your life who are stressing you out, whether it's family, friends, you got to cut them off. You got to cut them off because you know what? They do nothing but stress you out. And stress is going to cause more problems because it causes gut issues, going to cause head issues. But yeah, everybody. Okay. See you later. Don't forget to be a scleroderma smarter.